Hello, hoteliers. My name is May, and thank you so much for your time and listening to our Linens and Love presentation and our offering of a no-cost partnership for environmental sustainability. My name is May, and I'm recording this presentation from Yale NUS College in Singapore, and my co-founder is Vivian. She is currently at Placentia High School in Placentia, California. Together, we make up the head of leadership of Linens and Love, a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to donating hotels, blankets, sheets, pillows, and towel cast-offs to places in need, such as animal shelters, homeless shelters, and women's homes. So before we move on with the presentation, we just want to give you a quick run-through of who we are using this Allstate Foundation sponsored video.
My dad used to manage a motel near Disneyland. One of the things I remember doing as a kid was playing in the breakfast room and building these little forts using the sheets and pillows and different towels, and it was absolutely wonderful growing up in that sort of environment. I understood as I became older that these different motels have franchise standards, and part of the franchise standards mean the sheets that I was playing with were meant to be discarded. Because they have slight imperfections like a coffee stain or a tear or a pen mark, they were meant to go to landfills. So my younger sister, Vivian, and I founded Linens and Love in 2014 with the intent that these linens go to a better place, to different homeless shelters, women's shelters, and animal shelters. We Volunteer Now is a campaign that encourages students to take on volunteerism and service. And I feel like it's a very empowering project because it encourages students to understand that no matter what their background is, no matter how old they are or where they're from, they're able to take action within their communities.
The Allstate Foundation believes that good starts young, and by empowering youth with knowledge, skill, and resources, these young people can become leaders in their communities, in their schools, and ultimately change the world.
The center's need for fresh towels and linens is huge. We use it on a daily basis to change the bedding for these animals so they have a soft surface they can lay on. We also have animals that have illnesses and we can't reuse towels and have to be tossed after one use. And that money that we save from having this donation coming in on a regular basis makes a huge part of the care that we can provide.
Being able to hold one of these puppies and seeing that these towels are giving them comfort or warmth or sense of security, it's an incredibly rewarding feeling.
What excited me about being involved with students like May that want to give back is I see the purity in their actions. I see no other agenda than wanting to truly make a change and truly make a difference. It represents the hope that we can live in a better world.
So Linens and Love is an amazing 501c3 nonprofit by the students for the students. And the way that we function is that we partner with hotels, have our volunteers pick up these hotel donations with slight imperfections, aka contaminated linens. And so when we pick up these blankets, sheets, pillows, and towels, we bring them over to places in need, such as animal shelters, children's care centers, homeless shelters, and we have our students conduct a very thorough tour of every facility such that they're able to have a more intimate view into the community that they're benefiting. In fact, one of our most recent deliveries is at his house. Interestingly, these students at Valencia High School were able to donate over 100 linens and articles of clothing and notes of encouragement. And the interesting point is that his house just looks like a common, really large yellow suburban home. But what they didn't realize was that these kids drove by this homeless shelter every single day because his house is actually located on the same block, on the same street as their own high school. Looking back at 2019, we were able to accomplish our first international delivery to an orphanage in Mexico. We were able to expand our Southern California chapter and acquire new sponsors and gain recognition from Choice Hotels and the Moreno Valley organizations in including. And in our past, we've been able to accomplish other things and grow with the support of other organizations that really believe in our cause of community and sustainability and initiative at the same time. And so that's how we were able to kind of let our journey evolve over the past 5 years. And that's where we are now with this really big opportunity to include your hotel within our mission and story. So what happened was the William Vale is a 5-star hotel in New York City. They contacted us saying that they have these linens donations, but unfortunately we had nobody to go over and pick them up. Even though they wanted to donate these linens to a place in need, we didn't have our volunteers there because we're based in California. Similarly, the Sleep Inn and Suites based in Marshall, Minnesota, had these donations, and again, we didn't have the manpower to go all the way to Minnesota and pick them up. Conversely, we saw that there was definitely a need for these linens at Attention Homes, which is a nonprofit that serves at-risk homeless youth. It was during winter, and they really needed clean linens for blankets for these kids. And unfortunately, while we have a large supply in California of these linens, we didn't have the members to get these linens to them. And that's where this big opportunity comes in, whereby we are able to give the haves, the wants, the haves being these hotels and the wants being the shelters in need, the ability to have these donations sustainably, using hotel guests as a connecting bridge to bring these linens from point A to point B. And the way we want to do that is by creating Linens and Loves app. This is a desktop app that will create a platform connecting our haves, wants, and volunteers for some scalable social impact. And it looks like this. So hotels will sign on to this Linens and Love web app that we're going to be rolling out in late fall 2020. The hotel creates accounts, and then they just enter their items available. Meanwhile, the hotel guests check in. There's multiple points of sales. They just simply enter the zip code of where they're at, and a list of nonprofits in need appear for them to choose from. And once there's a match from all 3 parties, the app will just send out a confirmation email and just say, hey, here's the connection, here's where you're at, here's the linens that you can pick up, and here's the shelter in need. And using that, we are able to create this impact of social responsibility and environmental sustainability. By empowering these less privileged people and cutting down on our carbon footprint, we are able to support this amazing track record and to be a part of our narrative, whereby we've been trusted by hotels and grant issuers. And finally, we know that there's definitely this demand. There's no cost to do good as these volunteers pick up everything. And there is this solid CSR branding for you and for your hotels. And finally, with all of our partners, we're able to showcase our impact through photos, through blog posts, and able to boost your SEO along the process. So you may be asking yourself now, how can your hotel become an L&L partner? Well, we're going to be placing our hotels into the directories in late fall of 2020. So we would love to encourage you to take a look at linensandlove.org/hotels to figure out how you can help and be a part of our story and help us to accomplish our mission of donating 100,000 linens, rescuing them from landfills and bringing them to places in need. Thank you so much. Again, my name is May. I appreciate your time, and we really hope that we can deliver love together soon.